Hilton, Liverpool.
Can you start that again?
Oh, fucking hell, could.
Go.
Is it alright now?
Yeah, it's fine.
Good afternoon everyone, welcome to the Hilton, Liverpool for our press conference for the launch of our next big show here in Liverpool. No retreat, no surrender. March the 30th, Echo Arena. Before we get underway with the press conference, there's a special announcement that I'd like to make. You may have seen recently, Matchroom have been signing the very best young crop of talent across the UK, a lot of the boys who come out of the GB elite setup. And today we're announcing our latest signing, someone I know that you'll be very proud to see turning pro, someone I'm very proud to sign as the GB Olympic captain. I'd like you to give a nice warm welcome to our latest signing, someone who's going to be developed hotly, quickly and very, very well. Please welcome Tom Stalker. He sits here for the first press conference, then he'll be down the end, like Scott. The same thing happened to Scotty Carter. When he first signed, he was sitting here and slowly moved down the end. We've got a packed press conference, a lot to get through today. I just want to introduce the top table. Down the far end, someone who we've recently acquired and have absolutely loved representing, loved working for. In my opinion, one of the biggest ticket sellers in the country. He's going to be defending his English super middleweight title against a Central Area champion Wayne Reed, Rocky Fielding. Next to him, someone who I probably speak to more than any other man in boxing. A guy who was imperative in the making of our chief support, DERRY Matthews against Anthony CROLLA. Someone I've got a lot of time for, a lot of respect for, someone who wants to see the great fights. And it's thanks to him, one of the main reasons that we've got this fight on. It's Dave Caldwell, DERRY Matthews' promoter. And to his left, the former British champion, someone who has been involved in some serious fights over the last few years, someone I've got a lot of respect for, never backs down, never shirks from a challenge, DERRY Matthews. To his right, the main event, someone who we're delighted to bring back to Liverpool after taking him on the road for the last couple of times. London in September, Nottingham in November, and would have been February here, but because of his cut, actually I haven't seen that. It's a lot better than it did in Nottingham. Delighted that Tony Bellew is here and going to be headlining the show at the Echo Arena. We'll talk more about his fight shortly. Down the end there, 8-0, one of the best lightweights in the country, going to be stepping up this year, having another huge number of fights, going to be moving into titles in the middle of next year. He'll also be on the bill, Scotty Carter. To his left, to his right, sorry, is a guy who I believe is going to go on to be one of the great super middleweights in the country, and we've already got one of them in our stable in Carl Froch, who Callum sparred many rounds with. He's already had 2 fights, we crammed in last year. He's going to be back out on February the 9th in Belfast, and then boxing again on March the 30th in Liverpool. His 4th fight will be in Liverpool, and the first time that he's had a chance to box in front of his home fans, so we're delighted for him to get that opportunity. To his right, Joe Gallagher, who's obviously Callum's coach and Scotty's coach and Anthony CROLLA's coach. Guy who has got huge respect in the game and one of the top coaches. And I know that he's going to have a busy night on March the 30th with at least 3 fighters on the bill that night. To his right, the former British champion Anthony CROLLA, who was of course involved with that Fight of the Year fight with DERRY Matthews last year. Someone again who I've got a lot of respect for, stepped up to the plate. It's sometimes quite rare that a rematch of a fight that brutal gets made, but both these guys want that fight and both of them believe that they can win, so I'm delighted to have that on the bill. And of course we spoke to Tom Stalker, the GB Olympic captain, the latest member of the GB team to sign with Matchroom Sport. I'm proud to have him on the team. He's done everything as an amateur. He's won Commonwealth gold, he's medalled in the Worlds. And really, for me, sitting down with Tom, it was a very simple decision for him to make. He's 28 years of age. We're going to move him along nice and quickly. He's going to make his professional debut before March the 30th, and we'll make that announcement on Friday. Got a very exciting debut for him. But the same sort of path with Tom that we take with all our fighters, as busy as often. And Scott Cardle's an example of that. 8 fights, probably in 9 months. That's what we want with Tom. We want him challenging for titles before the end of the year. He's going to be operating at light welterweight. I think he's a great talent. I think he's going to sell a lot of tickets in Liverpool. and we're delighted for him to have him on the show on March the 30th. To Tony Bellew, we're delighted to announce that Tony will fight Isaac Chilemba in a final eliminator for the WBC title. It's somewhere where we've wanted to get to ever since fighting Edison Miranda. We fought him for the WBC international title, and then of course we fought Roberto Bellonti for the WBC silver title. There's a lot of titles, it may confuse some people, but there is an ethos behind what we're doing, and that was to become a mandatory challenger for Chad Dawson's belt. And now Tony's got the opportunity, and he's one fight away to becoming a mandatory challenger for the WBC title, and that's a great position to be in. And we want to thank the WBC for making this final eliminator. They chose the two first available fighters, which was Tony and Isaac Chilemba. And to those who know their boxing, they'll know that Chilemba brings a very, very big test to Tony. A huge step up, in my opinion, from Miranda and Bellonti. And Tony's first real big test, I feel, since the Cleverly fight. And this is a chance to really go out there and make a huge name for himself in world boxing by defeating a talented fighter like Chilemba, and also picking up that mandatory position to fight for the WBC title against most likely Chad Dawson, which is a fight we'd look to make in the summer. So I'm going to ask a few people to say a few words at the table, and I'm going to start with Dave Coldwell talking about the Matthews CROLLA fight and what he expects on the night.
I think everybody knows, everybody that's here today is aware of the first fight that these two fellas had. It was just an absolutely fantastic fight. You've got two good sportsmen that are here, both lovely kids out of the ring, but then when you put them in to the same ring together, something happens and you get two guys that are in there wanting to knock each other's block off. The first fight was fantastic. It ebbed and flowed. It went one way, it went the other way. I was there as a fan, mates with both fighters. I didn't want to pick a side who I wanted to win, so I went there as a fan, sat ringside, and I was gobsmacked at the intensity of the fight. I think now obviously I'm involved with Derry. Derry's come back, he's revitalised, he's loving his training, off to Scotland, going to Spain. He's here, there and everywhere with his new training camp. He feels settled. Obviously I know Anthony from working with him for his last fight. Again, I've got a lot of respect for Anthony. Great fighter, he's a nice kid out of the ring, but he can box, he can fight. And I think these two, like Eddie says, you've got to give him a lot of respect for wanting this rematch. From the moment that Derry come to me and signed with me, he said, I want the CROLLA rematch. It's not often you get that from a guy that's won the fight. You usually get the guy that got beat that's shouting for a rematch. But he knows what sort of fight it is for the fans, and he knows that fans wanted to see that fight. And I think Derry's more interested in being a fan favourite than the titles. The titles are nice, but he said to me, I don't care if it's a title or not. Working with Eddie, it's become a title fight, and that gives it a little bit more kick. It gives it a little bit more on the line for both fighters. So I'm really looking forward to the fight, not just as a fan now, but obviously as Derry's promoter. I believe that Derry's got Anthony's number. And I believe that we'll have the same sort of result, and Derry will be coming away as a winner again and move on to bigger and better things.
Derry, a few words about the fight. Going off to camp tomorrow, is it, I believe?
Yeah, I'm going tonight. I'm up to Scotland tonight. I'm in Spain on Monday for a few weeks. Back to Scotland, then I'm over to New York for some sparring. It's a fight basically the fans wanted, with it being for the Commonwealth title. It's a bonus. It's a title I've never boxed for. I've never even thought about fighting for the Commonwealth title. I've always wanted the British, but it's a bonus fight for the Commonwealth title. I've got a lot of respect for him. He's a great fighter. He gave me the opportunity to box him the first time. I'm giving him the opportunity, but when you can beat someone, that's why I didn't think twice about taking the second fight. And I've got his number, and I feel as if I'm bigger and stronger. I hit a lot harder, and I've got a good team around me. I've got everything going for me. It's in my own city in front of the big fans, big fan base, and I'm really looking forward to performing and win the Commonwealth title.
Good. Joe? Obviously I know as through losing the fight, not just as a fighter and as a trainer, it's a loss you want to revenge.
Yeah, definitely. It was there's some boxing news, the trade paper voted it the domestic fight of the year last year. And like you say, Dean, often you see people repeat it again. Like I say, Anthony CROLLA. People said we underestimated Derry last time. We didn't. We trained thorough and we prepared thorough, and the better man won on the night. Like I say, Anthony and Derry both nearly clashed in private fighter, but they were both unfortunate that night. And I don't think both lads were at the best that night. You could both watch them. But since then, Derry's had a good win. CROLLA's been involved in another great fight. One of the domestic fights of the year. And now, like you say, we turned down an opportunity to fight for the British title at super featherweight. Anthony CROLLA, everyone knows he's performing in the weight division, that we took an opportunity out when we fought John Watson, and people say we've robbed a living, and we've done really well at it at lightweight. We had an opportunity to fight for the British belt, super featherweight, Gary Buckland. We want to go down and fight that, but Anthony feels there's unfinished business at lightweight, and when the Commonwealth belt was attached to it, and the platform that he's got to fight in the sky in a huge arena, the Echo Arena, it's only fitting that an arena with the amount of fans that are going to be there that night and the TV audience get to watch what was the fight of the year last year. And Anthony CROLLA, DERRY MATHEWS is, we get no disrespect to anyone else boxing the bill, is the fight of the night, on the night. And I urge everyone to get your tickets quick, because it's got to go quick, but it's got to be a good fight, both good fighters. And like Derry's the box office fighter in Liverpool, to an extent, Anthony CROLLA has become the box office fighter in Manchester. Wherever Anthony fights, he brings his crowd of supporters with him. Derry's got a good crowd of supporters with him, and it's going to be a good night. We won the British title in Liverpool. We had to go in the back garden and we fought John Watson, and we're going to have to do it all over again and come into Liverpool and fight Derry and claim that Commonwealth belt. Claiming the Commonwealth, Anthony's won all 3 belts, British, Commonwealth and lightweight, the English title at lightweight. After that, then we'll most probably look at going back down to super featherweight and getting the British belt back down there.
Anthony, a few words?
It's always hard going last, isn't it?
There's a few more to go, don't worry.
Yeah, no, I always like to say, last time in the fight, almost 12 months ago, Derry come into my backyard, beat me in front of my own fans and put on a great performance. Now I've got the chance to return the favour, and it's something I'm confident, very confident that I'll do. I'm just like, I'm ticking over. I've been ticking over since my last fight. Really had a week off, and I'm in decent shape now. Like I say, the plan was to go down to super featherweight, but when Eddie and Dave was interested in making this fight, it was too much to resist and stay around, because this is a fight I want more than ever. And like Derry believes he's got my number. I believe I can. I don't believe he has. I believe I'll change the result this time. I'm just really looking forward to it. The Echo Arena, I've never boxed there. It's a great stadium. I shouldn't really be saying this, but I prefer it to the MEN Arena. Great atmosphere in there, and the fans are going to really turn out for it. A lot of boxing fans, what I'm sure we're both having on Twitter, the feedback it's getting is crazy. And I just hope that we both live up to it. I'm sure we will.
Thank you. Really can't wait for that fight. And to say a few words, Tom, don't go shy. I mean, I've heard you talk. You talk brilliant. But this is exciting times. You know, I can't wait to get started with you, because you know there's a lot of amateurs, a lot of the younger generation that we sign. They turn pro and they're out and about and they're doing their own thing. And Tom's a little bit different. He's got a couple of daughters and he's fighting for other reasons as well, which is different to some of the youngsters that we've already got. You know, he's fighting for his family, and I know what he wants to achieve and what he wants to achieve out of life. So we can't wait to get going. You must be excited.
I'm so excited. Usually I'm sitting down here with all yous, watching all these great champions on the table, and to be on the table myself now, and I believe it's going to be the start of a great journey. I've got a great manager in here, great trainers in the Steve-O brothers, and a great promoter. So it's just about me performing, and Eddie will take me as far as my ability will take me, so I'm just going to give 110%, and you're going to see a successful career out of him.
Can't wait. Like I said, we've got some exciting news coming later this week about Tom's pro debut, but I think one of the interesting things about the decision to turn pro, we sat down and it was all about the gamble. You know, he's had unbelievable opportunities with the GB setup, and what they do for young fighters there is unbelievable. And he could have stayed part of that, but he could have been one of those guys that looked back on his life and said, how far could I have gone? And that's what we want to know. We want to know how far Tom Stalker can go. And we'll give him every opportunity to get there. We'll make sure he has the best opportunities to fight all over the country, all over the world. And you know, I'm really excited about the time ahead, and I hope that all of Liverpool and of course the Great Britain get behind our Olympic captain. It's an honour to have him on the team. Tony, big fight for you this one, mate. This is the one.
Yeah, I'm close now, and this is what I wanted from the minute I first sat down with Eddie, and I wanted to get myself into the position, and I've done it now. So it's took a hard year, a lot of hard work's been put in, but I've done it, and it's time to reap the rewards. To be honest, I'm going in with a fighter who's as good as unbeaten. He's got one loss, and he avenged that loss. He's got a draw with Thomas Oosthuizen. He's a good fighter. I think this is the biggest test of my career, and I think this guy brings something to the table that I haven't faced before. He can do everything. He's a good boxer. He's got good speed, good defence. He ticks every box. The kid even gets up off the floor and wins fights. So he's done what I've done. He's proved his game, and he's a good fighter. There's no two ways about it. But you know, I've got to find a way around it. I've got to do my job, and I've got to go in there and win, because I'm there now. I'm within such a distance. I've got the silver title and I want the gold one. So I've just got to go in there and win, whichever way I have to win. I don't care how it comes. It could come any way, points, knockouts. I do not care. I don't care how it comes, as long as I win.
And back at Liverpool, we had a nice little few trips away, haven't we?
Yeah.
Great support from your fans, by the way.
Yeah, the away days have been good, and it's been unbelievable, the support I've got. You know, it's humbling, and it shocks me, to be honest. I always say, but it does. It's nuts when I hear them screaming, singing, and some of the things they sing is nuts, but it's great, you know, it really is, and it's flattering. But like I say, I'm coming back home now, and the same people that go away are going to be in there screaming, shouting. And there's one thing that I'm happy about, that Chilemba's been around the world. He's boxed in other people's backyards, but he's never experienced what he's going to experience in the accordion on March the 30th, and that's going to be a big factor, because I know what that's like. I know seeing what it's like. I've seen big fighters do it. It always sticks in my mind. I remember Kessler walking into that Millennium Stadium, and he did not like the look of what he heard. I remember Butte walking into Nottingham Arena, and he ain't never seen nothing like that before. And I believe something similar can happen to Isaac Chilemba. So it's massive, and it's going to be a great night. I just can't wait to get it underway and start punching people in the head again, to be honest. It's been so long already.
Quite Christmas.
Yeah, it's been long, and the gaffer left me out the gym and wouldn't let me punch for over a month. I started back the boxing gym a couple of weeks ago, and it frustrates me and sends me nuts when I'm told that I'm not allowed in the boxing gym. But like I said, I've done other things to stay fit, done my weights, done my strength and conditioning every other day. I ran, but like now I'm allowed back in the boxing gym, enjoying punching things, and I can't just wait to punch someone instead of something.
All right, mate. So thank you everyone. We're going to open the floor to a few questions now, and then we'll break for one-on-ones. Just like to say that tickets will go on sale today at 2 p.m. from echoarena.com. Tickets start at £30, 30, 40, 60, 100 and 150 for the VIP, which is nearly gone already, because these guys, like, we've got some noisy fans. But I wanted to come back to Liverpool with a great card, and I think we've delivered it here. We've got a couple more fights to add, which we'll announce probably next week. But I'm delighted with this card, and I'll thank everyone for their support, because Liverpool is a great city to stage fights, a great city to stage sporting events. We do the darts here as well, Premier League darts, and it's probably one of our greatest turnouts. So thanks everyone for their support. Get your tickets, spread the word, and let's bring a great night to Liverpool. Any questions to the floor, please?
There's been a final eliminator. Has there been any preliminary negotiations with Chad Dawson yet? Or?
Not yet, no. I mean, the WBC ordered the final eliminator last week. We'd already made negotiations with Chilemba, because we looked at the top 5 of the governing body, which was number 1, Bernard Hopkins, who's going to fight Tavoris Cloud. 2 is Gutnecht, who's going to fight a final eliminator for the WBO. 3 is Tony. 4 is Pascal, who will fight Dawson, and 5 is Chilemba. So we'd already spoken to Chilemba, got the deal in place, and when we got the confirmation from the WBC, we made the fight, and you know, the show will be in association, the fight will be in association with Lou DiBella as well, who's got Isaac Chilemba. Other questions? Okay guys, we're going to break for one-on-ones. Thank you as always for coming, and we're going to do a few photos up here first. Thank you. Good one.